The steepest gradients are at the foot of the climb. You come into the climb rather fast with a very long, stretched out peloton. So this is all about it's all about getting into position, Michael. That is what this is, a sprint before the sprint.
This is the sprint to be able to sprint. That last climb, at its steepest, it's 14%. This is by no means a flat run-in, and it's a technical, difficult sprint to manage and to get right.
Oh, sadly, we lost the camera there at the front of the punch because we could see the focus on the face of Coquard. Let's get back to the front after this descent. Now it's up to Total Energy. One of the big favourites before the race was actually Emilien Janière, but we spotted him all the way at the back of the bunch. But they have a plan B with Sandy Dujardin, who could also do well on this finish. Carlos Canal, interesting rider to look at for Movistar potentially. But Venturini is well positioned there. He's got a teammate with him still. But this is basically downhill until we hit the foot of that climb, Michael.
It is, yeah. Still the Van Rysel boys are still here as well. So they're having, I mean, they've been able to have a relatively quiet ride because they had a rider in the break, but I don't think anyone was ever really expecting them to do the chasing anyway. But they're up there now and looking good.
Ooh,
and this is just this sequence of a couple of roundabouts and the underpass, which we're going to get to in just a minute or two, and then we really are into the final. Well,
it looks like we are not going to sprint with Brian Coquard because he finds himself at the front of the bunch right now. So they have a plan B with quite possibly Jente Biermans there in third position. Jente Biermans, who was fourth in this race last year, because Coquard, he's hitting the front. The climb might just be slightly too difficult for him. But they're getting the Belgian rider in position right now, third place.
And Movistar sitting in right behind them, and Euskaltel, who we haven't talked an awful lot about this race at all, but they've got a very solid prospect in Retestegi.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well. This is a final little incline, then we go downhill, and then we hit that finish climb rather fast with the boys of Cofidis, with Brian Coquard himself doing all the work there for Jente Biermans, who's currently in third position.
Doing a big turn into the bottom of this climb. That's a really, you know, and to be fair, Brian Coquard, he's very good at exactly that job. I were expecting to see him in the final sprint, but he's done a very good job of positioning just for this run-in now.
Dujardin is up there as well. Venturini hiding as always. He's of course not the tallest of riders, but he's most definitely there. It's hard to hide if you wear the Unibet Rosa Rockets costume. It always is always quite visible, exactly as it should be. But the last lead out is happening. We're inside the final kilometre. We're hitting the climb. It's a very small Flamme Rouge, but we're hitting the climb with a double sprint train of Total Energie and Team Cofidis. Brian Coquard has done his job. It's now all for Jente Biermans. The riders are trying to move up right now with John Barrenetxea as well for the Movistar team. Trying to move up. We have the Saint-Michel boys, the team that heard that they are closing shop at the end of this season, also trying to make a move. Jelle Johanning is doing his job there for Venturini, who's looking very comfortable. Venturini in the pink helmets with Johanning now hitting the front. They've done the steepest part, and there goes Clément Venturini straight away, followed by Fernando Barceló of Cajarola. It's a very powerful sprint here by Venturini, but it's still quite a long way to go to the finish line. And yeah, he's going to abort this mission, I think, all the way now with Donnenweert trying to close that gap. We're inside the final 500 meters, a little bit too early possibly to go for that sprint right now. Now there's a bit of looking at each other. Jelle Johanning still out there. Venturini back in the fold. And now up to the final 300 meters that are more or less flat with Groupama FDG, with, I think this is Tom Donnenweert doing the sprint at the moment. There's still a little bit of a rise in the road. It's very hard to move up right now with Barrenetxea of the Movistar team going through the middle. It looks to be a win for Movistar, or is it going to be Cajarural? Oh, it's hard to see. It could be Fernando Barceló on the line, but Movistar celebrate it. It's always hard to judge from a frontal view, but Barrenetxea is celebrating, but he's pretty sure that he's got it.
The riders usually know, Jose.
Yeah, but I think it was either Molenaar or Barthelo. But yeah, he is celebrating, of course, John Barrenetxea. A man from, as you can probably judge from his name, the Basque Country. Yeah, he is announced the winner, John Barrenetxea.
That was a super chaotic last kilometre. But Clomo Venturini start opening up his sprint with 600 metres to go. It caused such confusion. Nobody knew what was happening.
No, but did he know that it was still 500 metres to go? Because it was
It
felt
seemed
like
a very
a
odd
moment
thing
of
to
panic.
do. Yeah. He just seemed to find himself on the front and go.
But this is like even longer than Fernando Gaviria would put up a sprint.
Yeah, because this is, I think you're right. I think this is Donenworth on the front at the moment, with the two Movistar guys just tucked in behind him. And Movistar haven't had a very, haven't been super visible this race, and I don't know that anyone was necessarily expecting a Movistar win today, Jose.
No. We thought that they were slightly the odd one out here in this race, but they come home with a win. So great result there for John Barrenetxea of the Movistar team.
He took great advantage of the leader that he was offered. He got on the wheel and timed that really well to nip it from Caio Rurel here in the